right, new year, new episodes. Here we are with William Zimmerman of Coil Media. I almost said my own platform, Coil Media. uh, Will reached out to me, must have been a couple years ago at this point, and has been, giving us, stuff to review and people to interview, and so it's great to finally, interview him.
Yeah,
so, welcome on.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it.
So, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about Coil and what you do.
Sure. Well, basically, I'm the CEO, owner of Coil Media. I work with a couple incredibly talented individuals who are, I'd say, a step above assistants. They're more like executive director assistants. One of them's Bella, who's a DJ. Another one is Cassidy, who takes care of, well, she's going to be kind of in charge of different PR stuff, press releases, innovative things. The cool thing is what she and Bella have done together. Like, they built us a Discord server with a lot of cool ideas that we can't wait to disclose. So, yeah, I mean, we do everything from like press releases, DJ promotion, some artist management things. Just depends. That's kind of the nutshell version, I think.
Nice. So how did you get into PR and artist management, and did someone inspire you to get into it? So yeah, I guess tell us about your journey.
As far as that goes, it almost kind of happened by accident. It certainly wasn't through some marketing degree or anything like that. I mean, I guess you could say it goes as far back, really, from like having experience as a DJ, from having experience as a writer, media person a little bit as an artist. But as far as the PR stuff, when I was writing blogs, I happened to come across this PR agency. It was kind of a mom and pop thing called Tag Publicity. It was based in Iowa. And, they just started, the way they do things is really like organic and one-on-one, hands-on. And so I kind of learned from them, doing press releases and just sort of that interpersonal interaction, that you have to have with these artists so that things aren't so like regimented and automated and things like that. After a while, I said I had to be my own boss, so I started doing it kind of as a side hustle. I was working in healthcare at the time for like 15 years, steady building up a reputation, and then here we are several years later. But as far as starting this full time, there's kind of a funny story about that, because like I said, I was working in healthcare for a long time, like 15 years or so. Driving an hour to work, hour back home. Long story short, I find this job in town, 35 hours a week, more money than I'd ever made. 5 minutes from home. I walked out a month later because basically they asked me to do something that was unethical, illegal, that amounted to interstate fraud. So 8:30 a.m., February 9th, 2021, I walked in. I said, I don't want any part of this. This was at the height of COVID.
Yeah.
And I left, jumping into total uncertainty, basing basically everything on my reputation. And so ever since then, I've been kind of doing this. I've been doing this full time.
Oh, wow.
That's sort of how it started, I guess you could say.
That's crazy. So you kind of jumped in partly out of necessity, I guess, because your day job was just like you had to leave.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, necessity from, mental well-being sort of thing. I mean, obviously, I couldn't sit there and do something illegal, immoral, unethical. That's just, not how we roll.
Sure.
But, working with artists, especially after having been an artist and a DJ, that was the
Mm,
closest thing to my heart, I guess you
mm,
could say.
sure.
Um, so I needed to do it not just for practical reasons to support family, but also kind of for mental reasons.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
No, I love that. I think that time period, 2021, 2020,
Hmm.
a lot of people were reassessing the direction of their lives.
Yep.
So yeah, to hear that you also did that around the same time, I mean, I think that's wonderful. I love hearing stories like that. So,
yeah, and the thing is that that place that I was working at is very volatile,
mm.
very like verbally abusive.
Oh, yeah.
The last straw was me sitting in a meeting room with them, chewing me up a new one, up one side and down the other. And so, that was it.
Hmm. Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
enough, so I
Right. Yeah.
left.
No amount of money is worth that.
Yeah.
No,
Hmm.
absolutely not. So,
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, no, I get it. So, I guess along those lines, so then, you move on, you go into a completely different field, partly out of necessity, partly because it's like I need a better, more aligned life direction for myself, that aligns with my, goals and interests. How did you pick up the skills to run a successful agency? Did you learn as you go, or did you have a mentor? Did you have anybody to kind of show you the ropes a bit?
well, that was kind of like going back to the tag publicity people.
Hmm.
It was a husband and wife operation basically, and they really kind of showed me everything. Um, you know, did I have a marketing background in school? No, absolutely not.
Hmm.
I've got, my undergrads are in art history and health information. I think education wise, if anything, my graduate degree has probably helped a little bit because that's in leadership.
Mm.
Other than that, it's really been trial by fire. And basing a lot of my knowledge on having been a DJ and media person and an artist myself. So
Hmm.
that's pretty much it.
Nice. Yeah, I think especially like the DJ skills, I would imagine that would dovetail really nicely into it because a DJ kind of is a little bit of a promoter already. You're already curating music, and you probably kind of have to, hype up your own events. You know what I mean? So I imagine that's good practice, probably. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was
Yeah.
kind of low key. I mean, it wasn't, this professional, hugely marketed type of event. I mean, we
Hmm.
had, and this was kind of a long time ago, probably 22 years ago or something. And I mean, we had a corner of a club and they let us play whatever we wanted,
Nice.
and that was it. It wasn't, it was really not formal at all.
Yeah. That's
It was
usually how
fun.
that's usually how goth nights. I've always heard stories like that's how goth nights start. It's like a venue, a club will be like, play whatever you want. And we're like, oh, okay, we will.
Yeah, we had fun with it. I mean, we'd have like 80s nights, and I would
Mhm.
insist on playing something really ridiculous like Eddie Murphy's song, or, at the end of the night, we might
Yeah.
mess with whoever was left there and play just something really obnoxious just to see like if we could
Oh,
clean the house out.
oh my god.
So yeah, it was fun.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. No, no, I think that's fun for some people, I guess. Oh
Yeah.
man. So what's all right, getting back to Moon Coil, what's the most difficult and also most rewarding parts of Moon Coil?
Starting with the difficult, I don't like to think negatively, but if I had to
Yeah.
answer that, I would probably say the most difficult, but actually really necessary is hearing things I don't want to hear, but I need
Mm,
to.
sure.
And the reason is that is because if we learn that, then that's the only way to improve what we do.
Mhm.
Is I mean, it's great to have compliments, but it's also necessary to hear ways where we can improve.
Yep. Sure.
Um, that's the big one. Ultimately,
Mhm.
it's beneficial.
Mhm.
Another thing, sometimes on a rare occasion, you might get an artist who likes to micromanage,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well,
and sometimes you got to put the foot down a little bit. But see, the thing is that our view is kind of like, if you're going to shell out a chunk of money and trust us with it to do a decent job, we want to give take the expertise and give a good ROI.
Yeah.
Some artists do pull their own weight, and to an extent, those are the best campaigns. But we don't want you to pay us a ton of money and then do all of the work.
Right. Yeah. What are they paying you for? Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't. I mean, most of the successful campaigns come when the artists really have their stuff together and they have their assets prepared. But when it comes time to roll out the campaign, let us do our thing, and if there's a bump on the way, we'll talk. So, but we try to communicate properly and consistently. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. And yeah, getting back to like the difficult thing, like I think constructive criticism is so important. And
absolutely.
hopefully I mean, in any part of your life, but anything creative, absolutely. So as long as you have people that you can trust to give you honest feedback, like don't sugarcoat it just because you're my friend or whatever, that's like, more valuable than gold in my opinion. That's like the best thing. But I get it. Yeah. So what's
I think like the other stuff, it's not the easiest to without getting into too much, it's not the easiest thing to navigate campaigns when there's a lot of division in the community. It's we can do it, but it's like a mental thing, working with a clear head. And it's just kind of like when you have that thought in the back of your head, like, it's a shame that I gotta, work in this environment that's divisive. But
yeah,
I think one of the things that we want to try to do is sort of, I guess, inspire people to do more positive things, to unite instead of looking for reasons to split apart.
Yeah.
And then the only other challenge I think would be this obnoxious use of AI that's just out of control. And, we're kind of selective with how we do that. And occasionally you'll come across the artist that has, AI music or art and stuff. And
oh no,
it becomes a little bit of a challenge when you got to pick that stuff apart.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, we don't really mind a little bit of AI art, but when it comes to music, we won't deal with it.
Right. Oh, good. You put your foot down.
What's that?
You put your foot down when it comes to that, like no AI.
I mean,
not the music.
There was one artist that we were going to put on the label branch of the company and the contract ready and everything, like a couple hours within signing even. And I was listening to his album again and I thought, man, you know what? This is like too good to be true. So I ended up running the music through about half a dozen AI auditors and it turned up like 85-90%. And I was like, we're not doing that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
So
did you have to go back to that artist and then, like, what do you say? It's tough.
You just kind of have to give them the brutal truth. I mean, the thing is, like, all these artists that we work with work their butts off. They put their, blood, sweat, tears, everything they have, most of them, into their art. And when you come up with an album really quickly that sounds a little too perfect and polished, that kind of cheapens the industry.
Oh, yeah.
And we really don't want to be a part of anything that cheapens the industry.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you for sticking to your guns with that, because Eric and I absolutely, and a lot of other artists that I've talked to, artists and fans, it's just it's so gross. And I also, I'll be honest, as a visual artist, I'm highly offended by the visual aspect of it as well, just because I go out of my way to do everything 100% old school. I mean, like, sure, like I'll still use computers and everything, but like, hell, even just, I mean, come on. It looks like it all looks the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't look original. I
Like if
hate
you
it.
can't pay an artist to do your album art,
Yeah.
find someone that will do it and trade for credit to get their name out there. I'm sure they exist.
Yeah, you take some gritty photos with an old ass camera, put a black and white filter on it,
Exactly.
you've got like an amazing album cover.
Yeah.
Boom, done. You know what I mean? Like it's so minimal. Anyway, that's pet peeve.
Really have a problem like using AI for process improvement, for creating like outlines, like
Sure.
plan outlines,
Sure.
strategies. Full disclosure, we use AI to create an outline for our operations manual, and then we just fill in the blanks according to what we do.
Yeah.
So we're okay with that, but
Yeah.
when it comes to cheapening the music by creating it with AI, forget it. I don't want
Yeah.
anything to do with it.
I agree. I think there's a threshold.
Yeah.
AI, ChatGPT is great for, doing anything that doesn't take a lot of creative thought. But like
Right.
if something needs to have a human element, human touch, it doesn't,
Yeah.
it's not the same. So I guess
Yeah.
kind of, or I don't know if you had a chance to answer the second part of the question, the most rewarding parts of running
All right.
Moon Coil. Almost forgot.
Yeah. Probably the most rewarding, on a professional level, is clients coming back, referrals. When the advertising doesn't really work for us,
Mhm.
all of the business has pretty much come in, by word of mouth.
Okay.
So knowing that is kind of humbling.
Mm.
And the other thing on a personal level would be working from home.
Mm.
It's a different ball game when you don't have to answer somebody.
Yeah.
It is a different level of discipline, but when I started doing this from home after I left that company, I was able to take my kid to school in his last year of high school. I was able to do things like take family members to doctors' offices, things like that. So that's
Yeah.
been hugely rewarding too. So
Yeah. I know. I'm jealous of anybody who can be 100% remote,
Yes.
because you've got that geographic flexibility too. Like if you want to go and, work from somewhere else for a month, you can.
yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely has its pluses, but like I said, it requires another level of discipline.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get into hyper focus mode and it's really hard to step away from the laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
um, and then you're kind of responsible for like, building a team is fun, but you're also, as an owner or CEO, you're kind of responsible for, making sure, like, we have an accountant and a certified financial planner, but I'm responsible for getting the, proper, detailed information to them.
Sure.
Right now, I'm doing that part on myself, but, it's a blessing to have them on the team too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's awesome. That's good that you have other experts that help you out. So you don't have to be an
yeah, no,
expert in
we're
everything.
blessed. Other than Bella and Cassidy on the team, we have an incredibly talented webmaster. She, I think she's got a PhD in digital design.
Oh, nice. Wow.
And yeah, actually, the funny thing is that our accountant, who's in Chicago, he's actually a Billy Idol tribute act.
Get
So
out.
yeah, so his business is Rebel Accounting Service or Rebel Tax Services or something.
Okay.
So I kind of figured that sort of gives us extra rock star points.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
But
I love that.
no, it's a blessing to have him. He's incredibly talented, both as a showman and as a tax guy.
Mm.
So
Oh man. So it sounds like he's already at least a little bit familiar with the industry, I guess. He's probably talked to other artists and everything. So
yeah, he is. He's in
yeah.
touch with like a lot of tribute acts, and being
Sure.
in Chicago, certainly he has um access to a lot of other artists. But
Yeah. I know. The Mecca of industrial. I mean, like Chicago is a great area.
yeah, for sure. No,
Hmm.
I've had a few acts from up there
Hmm.
that I worked with.
Nice. Nice. I guess all right. In that case, well, that helps me lead into the next question. So, who are some of the artists that you worked with that our audience might be familiar with? So
Well, the big one is
Industrial.
Christian Death.
Yeah, I know. I saw
I'm
that. Oh man.
I'm kind of like with them. I'm kind of uh, on call whenever they have something coming out, which is kind of they're on their own time.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they're finishing up a new record, so I'll probably be doing something with them soon.
Okay.
So there's them. There's Mortis. He's more along like the dungeon synth metal side.
Mm-hmm.
Some other ones you've probably heard of. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Amulet, Curse
Yep.
Mackie,
Mm-hmm.
Unicode Machine,
Yep.
Spank the Nun, Frontal Boundary, Protocol 19.
Yeah, so some of those names are going to be at a Dark Force Fest for sure. So that's
Yeah.
always huge.
Yeah, and a handful of those we've had on here and done
Yep.
written stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Frontal Boundary and Unternull.
Yes.
For sure. A couple of the others I've seen, like Priest I've seen, they're really good.
Yeah. Yes.
I've never seen Frontline Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that and some others. And I know Unicode Machine is going to be really good. That guy is just the nicest guy and talented,
Really?
like ridiculously.
Oh man, that's awesome. So you're coming to Dark Force? Is that right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Oh, good. We will see you there. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's the plan. I'll probably have one of these logo T-shirts on. So
very nice. That's so cool. Yeah, we'll have to exchange media. We got some Moonburn stickers and stuff. We'll have to give you.
For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna bring a stack of stickers. I think too. So
yeah, I've got a few of your stickers and 3 of your T-shirts. I think.
Yeah. I got a bunch of stickers and pins made up, so it's all for Dark Force. So I got to make sure to save it up for that. Well, I have to ask just because of like the similarity to our name. So where did you come up with the name Mooncoil Media? I'm a fan.
It's kind of a funny story actually. I was having a conversation with my business development guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's an advisor, and we're having a conversation, and he just shoots out the word coil. Like, all right, well, it's kind of interesting. Well, I had this story in the back of my mind. When my kid, he's 19 now, when he was about 1 or 2, we used to go out on the front porch of our old house, and we'd stand there and look up at the moon, and he'd stick his arm up and be like, I can't reach it. So that scene kind of stuck in my head.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of reaching for something that seems beyond your reach. And then another part of the coil thing. So my grandfather's name was Carl, and he ran a business a long time ago, up in like Massachusetts, New Jersey, and it was they used to heat homes with like this oil. I think it was like kerosene or something. I don't know. So Carl Oil, there's the coil. And then media like just to kind of encompass, not just doing PR or artist management. It's kind of a little bit, more broad.
Yeah. No, I like it.
That's the story.
No, I like that. It's got a good ring to it. Like Moon Coil kind of sounds like Mortal Coil, like this Mortal Coil, it's a very
yeah.
And of course we like the moon.
Yeah, right. Anything lunar. Yeah. My alter ego is Moon Cat, it's just like you got to stick the word moon into everything, and it just elevates it, in my opinion. So are there any artists that you haven't worked with that you really want to?
I kind of look at them sort of like, man, if I can work with these artists, I will have made it. Number 1, Grimes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean,
I gotta say, I'm not super familiar, but I've heard of her.
Yeah. She's I don't know. I like her stuff. I think she's great. I mean, she's obviously kind of weird off the wall, but if you listen to some of her interviews, I mean, she's pretty brilliant. But anybody that knows me in the community knows that my favorite dark wave industrial band is Supreme Court.
Okay.
So for sure them. There's a band in New York City called Turbo Goth.
Aha!
No,
I have
yeah,
seen
silly
them.
name,
No.
but
I saw them open for Glass Spells and Dark Cheesemate.
yeah, I
In
mean, it's kind of art rock,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
this is one of those cases where a band that like really has their stuff together, doesn't
Mhm.
need a babysitter. I mean,
Mhm.
they've got the TikTok, Instagram Reels thing down, which a lot of people don't.
Mhm.
They're really nice people and really talented.
Yeah.
Trying to think, Crew Lies, who
Oh, Crew Lies.
uh,
Yeah.
Bell is a huge fan of.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Okay.
Trying to think, No
Are they
Longer Human.
yeah, Crew Lies, they're California, I think, right? I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
That's I think he's on COP International,
Okay.
Clint is.
Yeah.
And his last album was easily one of the best things I've heard in the last maybe 5 years.
Yeah, they were at Dark Force, was it last year? I can't remember which, but
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah. They've been at Dark Force. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
But I think the last one, it's kind of more pop punk, but there's a Canadian singer, her name is Xana.
Okay.
And the reason I say her is because she was coming to St. Louis and I was like, who is this person? And I'd never heard of her.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I started noticing, well, how is she able to put 500-600 or more people in a venue?
Mhm.
So I had to go see her, right?
Mhm.
And to see what kind of demographic she was pulling in. Well, then I started looking at her Instagram and TikTok numbers, and I was like, all right, that's how.
Mhm.
And she just she's great. She's incredibly talented.
Mhm.
She has one of the most diverse crowds I've ever seen. She's very, very much pro LGBTQ.
Mhm.
Unafraid, fearless. No, she's great. So
Love that. Yeah, I like listening. I like getting into artists that might not be like my typical mold or whatever. If an artist happens to sound a little bit poppier, but they've got something else that just pulls you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
yeah,
reason. Yeah.
I think when it comes to people like Xana or Turbo Goth, they're kind of like motivation for us to sort of branch into the indie alternative scene.
Yeah.
So we're kind of motivated to go that route maybe next.
Okay.
Um, when I hear
Mhm.
acts like that.
Mhm. I love it. Nice.
All right. I've got the next one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So backtracking a little bit, who were your most memorable bands when you were growing up?
So growing up, it was kind of like I grew up on like a lot of top 40 radio.
Okay.
So it kind of started like with the new wave bands like Flock of Seagulls, Thompson Twins, David Bowie,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Culture Club, Adamant, people
Mhm.
like that. But then it also kind of started like with the hair bands like Twisted Sister, Quiet Riot, Motley Crue. I first heard those guys and I was like, what the hell is this? Meanwhile, I work with a huge Motley Crue banner and poster on my wall over here. So
Mhm.
it kind of started like that. As far as like the acts that maybe the goth industrial dark wave crowd would be more familiar with, I don't want to say more familiar with, but
Mhm.
that are still considered part of that scene today. Bands like, like The Cure and New Order and Susie and the Banshees, I was a little late to the party on.
Mhm.
But eventually, like, got into them.
Mhm.
But it really kind of started with New Wave. So
Mhm. Yeah.
I guess
Well, to
that's
be
it.
yeah, that I mean, actually, that was the same trajectory as me. Like, I was listening to that stuff because my dad was into it. He had a Duran Duran album and Eurythmics,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
just like, well, he had these CDs. Let me pop them into my Walkman, and that was my intro into that style of like synth inspired music. Um,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Duran
that
Duran's another
yeah,
one. I still
mhm,
put on that Arena album every now and again.
nice. It holds up. It's still good.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. What or who got? I guess we just kind of yeah. How did you go from new wave and to being in the industrial?
Mm.
So this is actually a funny story. I'm in high school, 1991, 1992, and yes, that's how old I am. And somebody
fine.
comes up to me in the library and said, we live near St. Louis, Missouri, and somebody comes up and says, "You got to go check out this band there, this industrial band." I'm like, "What the hell's industrial?"
Yeah, what is that?
They're called Voice of God, and they're from
Okay.
St. Louis, like I said. So I'm like, all right, sounds cool. So I walk in this club, and these guys were like packing out this club, which is like 1,000-seater. Like, all right, you don't hear about that every day. Local band, especially back then, packing out 1,000-seat club. Well, I walk in, and the whole thing is decked out like a pulpit. And flowers. There's like a light box there, like a huge cross in the back.
Oh shit!
But I walk in, and I'm like, "What the hell is the drum set?"
where the instruments?
So this was my first kind of intro into a band like that. Where they had their backing wasn't on a laptop. It was on a reel-to-reel tape at first, and then they switched to DAT tape.
Wow.
So, yeah, when the backing messed up, that was kind of interesting. But they were huge, like with the punk crowd. Like their influence came from punk and bands like Ministry. So that was the intro. And I still talk to that guy today, the main guy from that band. We're good friends. And I say, dude, I don't think you realize how important, what you did was. You completely changed the musical pathway. And then the next thing I remember, I was looking at things like 9 Inch Nails' Broken EP. And
Nice.
That was it. That's where the path started.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think it's usually a show or it's a band, it's a bigger act like 9 Inch Nails that usually gets people into it, And it is weird. You're used to seeing all these shows where it's like guitar, bass, vocalist, drums, and it's like, well, now there's just like a couple guys behind these like nest of chords and knobs and monitors, maybe maybe a computer, although not in the 90s probably, but like
that's definitely been an adjustment for me because I grew up a metalhead, so the transition from the standard bass and guitar and vocals and drums to whatever the hell you get with industrial act is bizarre.
Yeah less of it is live, but it's still good, really good. So
yeah, I mean, the only thing that they really had on their backing was their drums and their samples. I mean, they had 2 guitar players, a bass player, a vocalist, and it was really one of the first intros for me to theatrics. They all had costumes, and
cool.
they would throw stuff out in the crowd, and it was life-changing. So I think that people, they need to go out and see local shows and support these bands, because you just never know. I mean, you might go see somebody that just changes your entire pathway.
Yeah,
exactly.
And because that's what happened to me. So
yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
you just never know.
All right, slightly changing gears here. Are there any artists you currently listen to that you consider to be guilty pleasures?
Right. Okay. So we touched on that in the beginning. I don't really think there is such a thing as guilty when it comes to music. I mean, you like what you like. Who cares what anybody else thinks? I mean, probably the one that people would kind of be surprised or even sort of laugh at, would be Taylor Swift. I mean, I'm not like a massive fan. I don't go out and get everything that she ever puts out, but a lot of the songs are like really catchy, and a lot of them are so different. But I mean, I think half the reason why I like her is the business side.
Okay.
The business model, strategy, things like that. I mean, I think it's fascinating that she shows up to cities and changes the entire economy for a few days, and serves as this model as like donating thousands and thousands and millions of dollars to like food pantries and
Mhm.
just that idea of a celebrity of that caliber who supports their staff by like what $200 million, I think, was on the last
Right.
tour. She
Oh,
gave
wow.
them bonuses, so
Mm.
that's part of it too. Half music, half business, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with her musically or, the uh, everything going on in her life, but I've got a lot of friends who really love her, and I mean, it's got to be for a reason, right? So
Yeah, there's a lot of, believe it or not, there's a lot of people in the community that I think are closet Taylor fans.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, and
uh,
I would argue a lot of people in our community also like big Lady Gaga fans too. You know what I mean?
oh,
Just
for sure. No, her
yeah,
last record was phenomenal.
It was.
No,
yeah,
she's great. She's
hmm
great. She's an underrated actress too, I think, as well.
Oh,
yes, I do.
absolutely.
I love her acting. Yeah,
Yeah.
what I've seen.
No, she was. I mean, I didn't like the second Joker movie, but she was
Hmm
great.
hmm Yeah, no, and I
Yeah, I
just
wish
love
I
I
could have
love her
seen her.
aesthetic. I've never seen her live.
Yeah.
I can't afford those tickets, but
No.
We
yeah,
probably would have gone. We probably would have gone up to Chicago to see her, except it was only like a month prior where we went to see Nine Inch Nails.
Oh,
right.
So it's
Yeah,
yeah.
like to make
that's
that 5 hour trip again, it wasn't really, feasible.
yeah, yeah, and also both expensive tickets. So yeah.
Well, the ones that we got weren't too bad,
hmm
Mhm.
because we don't have a problem being like in the nosebleed seats, but
Oh, okay.
a lot of them were.
hmm
We figured, well, hey, we're in the room, Trent's in the room,
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
funny. Yeah, the last time Trent, because I had never seen Nine Inch Nails up until the very last tour. And he comes through. I'm near Philly, and comes through Philly. We skip, me and my husband skip, and then we hear all the stories like, oh, it was amazing. It was the best tour I've seen of his, and like I don't know, last 10,
for
15
sure.
years. And I'm like, oh shit. I guess we got one last chance. Let's hop a
Yeah.
train to Brooklyn. We went to the very last night Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, and we saw it, and we're just like face melted. Like I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, so good. And we got decent seats. It wasn't pit, but it wasn't nosebleed either. And so happy we went.
Yeah,
And,
I had seen him twice before. Once was on the Downward Spiral tour with Marilyn Manson, and then
oh
the
wow,
other one was with David Bowie
ah,
around
Oh
'96 or something.
man.
oh man,
And
Oh,
this
let's,
tour just blew it away. I
wow,
mean,
that's
no,
impressive.
don't get me wrong. Seeing him do songs with Bowie on the Outside tour, which is my favorite Bowie record, was amazing.
Yeah.
But visually, as
hmm
far as Nine Inch Nails go, this was
Yeah.
miles away from anything he had done.
I couldn't believe, yeah, like you understand why the tickets are as expensive as they are when you're
right.
there because
Yeah.
like you see where that money went, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think that a large part of that has to do with the promoter.
Mm,
I think that they carry a lot of weight in terms of, what can they get for tickets.
hmm
Um, I mean, I'm sure the artists like Trent have guarantees that they ask for or need.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I mean, you get tours like when we went to see The Cure and Robert Smith went to war with Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those tickets were pretty inexpensive. The show was
Mhm.
3.5, well, about almost 3 hours long.
Mhm.
And the merch prices were like the lowest I've seen in like a long time.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
wow.
Well, there's
Really?
things that they can do, to make like high ticket prices a little, leverage that out with other things.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. I will say that that was my little peeve. We did get, I forget if we got resale tickets or what, but it wasn't too much money. The merch though, the Nine Inch Nails merch I thought was overpriced and the quality really wasn't there in my opinion.
Yeah, we didn't get
Um
anything.
it was better that you didn't. I mean, if you happen to see them when they come back around a second time, I don't know if it's going to be the same shit. But I'm now in the position like I really would love to see them come back around to Newark, New Jersey.
Hmm.
But now the resale tickets for Pitt are $500 each.
Yeah.
So,
See,
um, mm, I don't know if I could
I don't
swing
know. I
that.
mean, I guess I understand it, if it's a once in a lifetime thing. But
That's
it's
crazy.
kind of hard to justify that
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
when
I know.
when you've seen him before.
I
Right.
mean,
I
you can
guess.
go to a dozen local shows for that amount of money.
Oh my God, easily.
Right.
Yeah, the shows that I go to, they're never more than $30 each.
Yeah.
Usually around 20. Um, so I know I can't really justify it. So probably
Yeah.
gonna skip. I don't want to though. I really wanted to see him in that one more time. But anyway, I have the next one, right, Eric? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So Will, what are your goals for 2026 for Moon Coil?
Well,
Keep keep on.
the girls and I are we've got kind of a strategy we're working on. Essentially, we want to disrupt the industry in a positive way.
Okay.
We want to destroy this idea that PR people are crooked. They don't follow through with what they do. They take money. They don't communicate. You never hear from them. We kind of want to put that idea. It's not what we want the legacy to be. Um, we're talking about doing things more like social media management, offering that. Cassidy does a lot of that stuff, and she's really talented with that thing. Expanding the Discord. Doing more like community-minded things, especially since we have a community that can be very like gossipy, backbiting, divisive, and we just kind of want to like be an example that anti all that. And sort of, I guess you could say, be servant leaders in the industry.
Okay, I like
Is
that.
a good way to put it. And hopefully expand more into the indie alternative genres later this year. And I guess other than that, we'll see what happens. Hopefully reach more artists.
Yeah, right. I mean, I imagine your ongoing goals are always, to grow, expand, build your network.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So I guess along those lines, so what are some upcoming releases that you could tell us about?
Let me think. I know Christian Death is in the studio working on a new one. Another one that blew me away. There's a guy in Finland who's got a project called The Fair Attempts.
Okay.
Kind of like a dark wave industrial thing.
Ooh,
We're working on a campaign for that. Let me see. Metamorph always has stuff coming out, like steady stream of content. She's one of my quote unquote managed acts, so we work together constantly.
Okay.
And we work on a steady stream of different kinds of content, and spread out regularly. That's another thing that we want to encourage bands to do this year is, instead of just dropping a release and expecting it to grow, we want to encourage people to focus on like a release strategy. We want to encourage people to do different kinds of content, single, EP, LP, throw in teasers and reels in there, things of that nature. As far as releases, I know Cliff and Ivy have a new one coming out in April.
Cool. Yay.
Yeah, we love them.
Yeah, love them.
Our Frankenstein, I think, is going to have a new EP this year. And those are the big ones that come to mind off the top of my head, at least that I'm supposed to be directly involved with.
Nice.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, I know that there's a lot of upcoming albums for some of the artists that I've been following. So like I think 26 is going to be a good year. 25 was good too.
Yeah. Actually, there was one other one. There's an artist actually from Chicago that I'm working with. He has a project called Sis Machine.
Okay.
It's sort of a side project of I don't know if you've heard of Derision Cult.
Yep.
But
Okay.
Cisco Machine is a little bit different vibe, but this is one of those cases where we're working on like a release strategy with teasers, with singles, and then the album I think should be out in April.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
And so yeah, we're working on that one now.
Nice. So gotta ask this question. So, and I love this. If you were stranded on a deserted island and you could only bring one album, yeah, what would be that album? I don't know
One
if I could answer.
album?
Yeah, just one.
One album.
Yeah.
Okay, it depends on the genre. If
sure.
it's nostalgia, Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue without even hesitation.
Oh wow. Okay.
If it was in the goth industrial darkwave arena, probably Supreme Court's I don't know, any of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in a grab bag and I'll take one out and take it to the island. So
Yeah. Oh man, I
One
know
of those.
that's I don't know how I would answer that question either. So yeah, it's tough.
yeah, it's almost impossible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, moving on. This is a interesting question for you. Describe the most interesting venue bathroom you've ever visited.
And but so feel free to interpret the word interesting however you want.
Was it stickers and it was cool? Was it really disgusting? You know,
Yeah.
tell us a story.
Oh,
Everyone's got a
okay.
story.
Well, a couple interesting stories. One time I went to see Assemblage 23 and didn't see the sign and accidentally walked in on the wrong bathroom. Fortunately, that wasn't, nobody was in there.
Well, that's always good.
The other thing was back in the early 90s, my friend and I went to see a death metal band called Entombed, and it was raining outside. And we were such huge fans of this band that we were hanging outside in the rain. Well, the owner sees us hanging outside in the rain, and he's like, I'll tell you what, I'll let you guys in out of the rain if you clean our bathroom. And this was like an old converted movie theater.
Oh,
So
God.
next thing I know, me and my best friend are in the bathroom with a mop, soft scrub container, brushes, and you'd imagine as like a converted movie restroom is maybe not the cleanest one in the room, but it's just like a really funny memory. And we got to stand there and eat their catering and look outside like other people waiting in the rain. Those are the two things that come to mind.
Oh, those are good answers.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, so we're starting to get towards the end here. So plug your socials, tell the viewers where to find you.
Pretty much everywhere. I mean, there's the .com, or on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Bandcamp for the label stuff.
Okay.
Blue Sky, Discord. I think I hit them all.
Okay.
All right.
No, that's good.
All right, and the last thing we have for you, bud, is do you have any words of wisdom for our viewers?
Yeah. If you go looking for a PR agency or artist management agency, do your research. If it sounds too cheap, there's probably a reason.
I see.
And I don't say that to sound arrogant. I say that because it depends on like their service level. You want to make sure that if you're going to trust somebody with a chunk of money, that they have deliverables. So check to make sure that they have verifiable results. Who did they work with? What kind of results did they achieve? They should be able to provide examples for that. Kind of do a little bit of background information. What artists did they work with? How consistently were they out there? What publications did the artists appear in? Ask tough questions if you're going to make an investment. How are things tracked? How often do we communicate? How long does a campaign last? things like that.
Mhm.
And it can't hurt to reach out to your fellow artists for their feedback on it too.
Yeah, checking
Right.
references. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody comes to us and I don't think that we can sell it, I am not the least bit offended if somebody, like, I've referred artists to other places that I think would be more appropriate. Like if they're more in the hard rock metal arena, there's amazing PR people that I've referred to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll take care of it if we think that we can sell it, but if not, we'll refer it out.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And it's nice that you have, like, I guess, a group, like a small network of friends, contacts that you're like, oh, I know that this person would be perfect for this type of act. Do you have
Right.
like some people kind of,
Yeah,
friends?
most of the, I want to say competitors, because
Well,
most of them are different styles, but
yeah.
most of them I get along with really, really well. I've
Mhm.
referred people to Tag Publicity, which,
Mhm.
I talked about earlier. There's people in the metal arena. This guy Curtis Dewar, who's fantastic.
Mhm.
God, there's a bunch of them. I get along with most of them.
That's
I
good.
can only think of one that I don't have anything to do with or refer people to. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
I like it. Well, thank you again, Will, for coming and chatting with us for a little bit. Yeah, and
no, of
also I
course.
want to say, on behalf of Eric, thanks for sending artists our way. Also,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, we always like chatting
Sure.
with
No,
people.
well, we appreciate the coverage. Um, that's another thing. Right quick, if
Mhm.
if as far as advice goes, get to know the media people one-on-one, share
Okay.
links that they produce. These are individuals behind laptops that have other responsibilities and financial obligations and families, so respect their time and space. It's
Mhm.
not always like, we don't want to be transactional, we want to kind of be transformational.
Right.
Mhm.
So treat people the way they want to be treated at
Yeah.
the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's always good advice. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I think that's a perfect note to end on. So, yeah, thank you again for joining us, and yeah, we're going to be keeping an eye out for all of the upcoming releases and everything. So,
For sure.
I'm following you. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll be sure to stalk you and send stuff your way. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you in New Jersey at Dark Force.
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think I figured now it's like what, less than 4 months now?
I
Something
know.
like that?
Oh God.
It's
Yeah. It's
coming
been-
up. We're in 2026 officially now. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's almost here. It feels like it's almost here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
So
Yeah. Nice. All right.
cool.
Well, thank you again, and take care, everybody, wherever you are, and more for 2026.
Yeah.
All right.
See you.
I'm Angie.
Hi, I'm Johnny. We are Dead Cool, and you're watching
Moon Burns Productions.